So students, now in this lecture, let us understand the designing concept of one-way slab. Clear? Now I have already told you the basic concepts of slab, what slabs are, what are the various theories of design of slabs, what is the difference between a beam and a slab, right? Now in this topic we will be basically focusing ourselves to the one-way slabs. Now what is a one-way slab? You must have studied that if your Ly upon Lx is greater than 2. What is Ly? Ly is the length of the longer span and Lx is the length of the shorter span. If it is greater than 2, then the slab is known to be a one-way slab. But the question is, sir, we have marked up this formula that if Ly upon Lx is greater than 2, it's a one-way slab. But what does it actually mean? Right? What does it actually mean? So it means that, for example, you have a long hall. Okay, just have to imagine, right? You have a long hall, right? But the width of the hall is not, you can say, very much. But the length of the hall, let us say it is 10 meters, and the width of the hall, let us say it is just 2 meters or 3 meters, for example. Okay, now just imagine if it's a long hall and the width of the hall is not very much, then how will be the deflection in the hall? How will the deflection? So deflection will be like this. For example, let me take one notebook. Let me take this notebook. Yes. Let us say this is a notebook, right? Let us say this is a notebook. Okay. And this is a hall. This is a hall, long hall, and the width of the hall is not very much. Width of the hall is just, let us say it is 2 meters, but the length of the hall is, let us say, 10 meters. So if, let us say, this is a hall, these are the walls. These are the walls. If some load is applied on the hall, then how will be the deflection? It will deflect like this. If you take it from the side view, it will deflect like this. Understand? So these types of slabs are known as the one-way slabs. So I hope that you have understood the one-way slab. Now the next question is that what will be the deflection profile in a one-way slab? So this is a one-way slab. If you look at this from this portion, if you're looking at this portion, and if load is there, live load is there, dead load is there, the deflection of the slab, this is the front view, the deflection of the slab will be like this. It will be parabolic. Simple. Okay. Now these types of slabs are known as the one-way slabs. And my dear students, one-way slabs are designed exactly as per the singly reinforced beams are designed. Exactly. Clear? Okay. Now, I have written some IS code provisions. I will be explaining the IS code provisions also. But the important thing is you must know that what one-way slabs actually are. Clear? Okay. Now, let me tell you about one thing which is very important. Now, just tell me, sir, if this is a one-way slab. Now, if I am asking you a question, tell me, you know that in slabs we have the main reinforcement as well as the distribution reinforcement. The main reinforcement, what they do is that they resist load, right? And the distribution reinforcement, as from the name it is clear, they distribute the loads among the main reinforcement, plus they they counter the shrinkage, the creep, as well as the temperature effects also, right? Okay. Now, what do you think if the slab is deflecting like this? If I take the front view, if the slab is deflecting like this, what do you think in which direction the main reinforcement should be there? Because it is deflecting like this, if I provide the main reinforcement like this, main reinforcement will resist to the deflection. Simple, right? It means that the main reinforcement should be provided like this. This question has been asked in many examination theoretical question, that the main reinforcement in a one-way slab is in the shorter direction or the longer direction. So which direction is this? This is the shorter direction. So Lx is smaller than Ly. This is the shorter direction. Clear? So in one-way slabs, the main reinforcements are provided in the shorter directions and the distribution reinforcements are provided like this. And what is the angle between the two reinforcements? That is 90 degrees. Simple. 90 degrees. What is it? This is a wall or a column. It can be anything. Okay? So I hope you have understood what one-way slabs are, because I have known many students, they know the definition of one-way slab, but actually they do not understand what actually one-way slab is. They have just mucked up this formula. right? So you must understand what is the deflection, what is meant by one-way slab. Clear? Now let us see what I have written. So IS code has given us some provisions. I have told you that the one-way slabs, they are designed exactly as the singly reinforced sections. And what is the, if you are determining, you can say the effective span in a slab. So slabs also, you have three types of slabs. First one is your singly reinforced slabs. Triple S means singly reinforced slabs, right? Simply supported slabs. CS means the cantilever slabs and continuous slabs. You have three types of slabs just as the beams are. Cantilever beam, simply supported beam and continuous beam, right? So if we have a simply supported slab, then in case of a simply supported beam also, the effective span is given by L0 plus W or L0 plus D, minimum of the two. Same here also. Because we are designing it just like a singly reinforced beam. Simple. Similarly, if it is a cantilever slab, where cantilever slabs are found, you must have seen that, for example, you have a road, right? A house has been constructed near the road, so you must have seen that people, what they do is that they extend their roof slab up to some portion, 4 feet, sometimes 5 feet also, right? So that extension acts as a cantilever slab, right? In Hindi it is known as chhajja in Hindi. Clear? Okay. Now, effective span for the simply supported slabs, right? In continuous, in the cantilever slab, it is L0 plus D by 2. It's same in beam also, right? And third one is, if it is a continuous slab, then it depends upon the width of the support. If the width of the support is less than or equal to 600 mm, then same simply supported slab. If it is greater than 600 mm, then the end spans that are designed as per the cantilever and the middle span, they are taken as L0 of the clear span. Simple L0 for this. So I hope that you have understood the effective span concept of one-way slab. No need to worry, just simple as what we used to do in singly reinforced sections. Correct? Now, let us see the IS 456 provisions. It says that the main reinforcement, they are to resist load. I have already told you. The distribution reinforcement, they are for creep, shrinkage and temperature effects. Plus they also distribute the load also to the main reinforcements, right? The maximum diameter of bar. This question has been asked many times in many examinations, right? Because I have told you in GATE examination, only a few questions have been asked from the slab topic. Hardly 1 or 2 questions, which I will be solving at the end of this chapter. But you should know that in many examinations, this question has been asked sometimes numerical also and sometimes theoretical also. That the maximum diameter of a bar in a slab is D by 8. And what is D? Now let me rub this. I guess you have understood this diagram. So let me rub this diagram. So it will come out to be. Let me rub this diagram. No need for this diagram now. Okay. Now what is D? Let us say that this is the slab. This is your main reinforcement. And let's say this is your distribution reinforcement, like this, right? So this small d, effective depth, and d is the total depth, capital depth, right? So the maximum diameter of the bar which you are using for the main reinforcement, right? Not for the distribution reinforcement, that is d by 8. It should not be greater than d by 8, right? Okay. Now it also has some minimum diameter provisions also, which I will be telling you. But first of all, let us discuss this, right? Now the thickness of the slab. The thickness of the slab in designing purpose, because we will not be doing the designing part, that is for ESE mains and something other exams like this. But if you are designing the slabs, then generally we consider that 15 centimeter is the depth of the slab, generally. Clear? Okay. Now, the minimum longitudinal steel, that is 0.15% of the total area of the slab. Total area of the slab means, let us say this is your L. So L into capital D, not small d. So this is the total area. Clear? Okay. That is equals to 0.15% total area for Fe250. And if it is HYSD, it is 0.12%. This is important. Asked many times in many examinations, right? 0.12% for total area. And the maximum area is 4% of the total area of the slab. Same as in the case of the beams, right? So 4% total area. This question has also been asked many times. Clear? Now let us move forward. And let us understand what about the distribution steel. Let me rub this portion. I am not rubbing that portion. Let me rub this portion, right? Now let me rub this portion. Okay. Now number 5. Now number 6 is, if I talk about the distribution reinforcement. Distribution reinforcement, it is generally taken as 0.12% of the total area. Total area. This is about the distribution reinforcement. And why distribution reinforcement is provided, I have already told you. The 7th point. Now I have told about the maximum diameter of the bar. Now let us discuss about the minimum diameter of the bar also. Minimum diameter of bar. So it can have 3 diameters: 6 mm, 8 mm and 10 mm. 10 mm. 6 mm diameter bar is basically for the temperature steel. This is basically for the temperature steel. 8 mm diameter bar is basically for Fe415. And this is for the mild steel, that is Fe250. So this is the minimum diameter of bars that should be provided in a slab. This question has not been asked till date, right? If you can remember, well and good. If you do not remember this, it depends, right? Because in some other examination, this question can be asked. Even in GATE examination also, this can be asked in theoretical question, like 1 mark question or 2 marks question if some numerical is also given, right? Now next thing is the deflection control in slabs. Now you know that in case of our beams, I told you that the L by D ratio, it can either be 7 for cantilever, the 20 for simply supported and 26 for continuous beams, right? Similarly, in case of our slabs also, we have some deflection control parameters, right? Now I am going to tell you one thing, that L upon D ratio, it is actually should be not be it should be less than or equal to alpha, beta, gamma, delta. I have not told you this thing because this is not important. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta are some parameters which depend upon a lot of things, right? So directly I am writing the values, right? I am not writing it, okay? Otherwise it depends upon the alpha, beta, gamma and delta parameters, right? And from there we get the values of SEM 20, 26, and for slabs also we will be getting the values. So now next thing is, the number 8 point would be the deflection control parameter. So let me rub this and tell you about a deflection control parameter in a slab, which is very important, right? If you remember anything, I don't care, but you should remember the deflection control parameter because that is very important, right? So deflection control parameters. And you know that the one-way slabs, they are not designed for shear. Even the slabs are not designed for shear, right? So shear stirrups are not provided in slab. The question is that if shear stirrups are not provided, what we do to resist shear or shear stresses? I have already told you, we increase the depth of the slab. So you can say the depth of the slab, it counters or resists the shear stresses. Okay? Now the 8th point is deflection control in slab. Let me rub this. The next point is deflection control in slab. Deflection control in slab. So in slab, the deflection control, it depends upon the type of steel. First of all, let me tell you about the mild steel, and then I will tell you about the HYSD. So mild steel, the L by D ratio, L is the L effective. L is the L effective. Let me write L effective, right? Otherwise, don't get confused. So L effective by D ratio, it should be less than or equal to 35, and your L effective by D ratio should be less than or equal to 40. Clear? This is for simply supported slabs, and this is for continuous slab. If you are using mild steel, that is Fe250. Right? So I hope that you have understood the deflection control parameter in slab for in the case of the mild steel. Right? Now in case of your HYSD, your L effective by D ratio should be less than or equal to 28 for your simply supported slabs, and your L effective by D ratio should be less than or equal to 32 for continuous slabs. This is for simply supported slabs, continuous slabs, right? So I hope that you have understood the concept of deflection control in slab. Now I am going to ask you one question. For example, in slabs, let us say that you are given the dimension of a slab. Let us say that the dimension of the slab is given to you. The dimension of the slab is, let us say, this is 10 meters, and let us say this is 3 meters, so 3.5 meters, let us say. 3.5 into 2, yes, is more than 2, right? 3.5 meters is given to this, and you have been given as the 10 meter as the length of the slab, let us say. Clear? Okay. Now, if someone asks you, sir, what is the effect, what will be the effective length of the slab? These are the effective lengths, right? Whether it will be 10 meters or will it be 3.5 meters, what will be your answer? What do you think? Just recall that these slabs are designed just as beams, right? So what will be the L effective, whether it will be the longer side or the shorter side, right? So basically now what we do in slabs is that along the longer side we take a strip whose width is 1 meters and we multiply it with the shorter side, we get the value, right? I have already told you that we take a strip and then we do 1 meter or 1 unit, and then we design the whole beam for this strip, and then what we do is that we multiply this strip with the width, right, to get the parameters for the whole slab. So this, you can say the L effective is basically your 3.5 meters, not 10 meters. Just imagine, just recall the case of a singly reinforced beam, right? If this is a slab, the distribution of main bars will be like this. This will be on main bars, right? So what I have to do is that I have to take this view. I have to design for the front view. So front view, if I am taking this 1 meter strip, it will be like this. Let us say this is a long and the width is 1 meter strip, right? And these will be the main bars, right? These will be the main bars, right? Here you have support and there also you have support. These are the main bars. So the length will be taken as this effective length for the deflection control parameter, because the deflection will be like this in this beam, not like this. I hope you have understood, because I have already told you the deflection will be like this, not like this. So that is why for the deflection control parameter, the L effective is taken for the shorter span, because the deflection will be in that span only. Clear? Okay, because a lot of students, they make mistakes. What the thing is that this is larger, so it will have more deflection. No, that is not the case. The larger span will have lesser deflection as compared to the lower span. Lower span will be taken as the L effective. Clear? So I hope that you have understood. The ninth point, the IS recommendation is the maximum spacing between the bars, right? So let us understand the next ninth point of the IS code recommendation, and whatever I am teaching you, it is more than enough, right? If you look at the IS code and look at the previous gate numericals and questions, you will not get a single question which is outside from this whatever I am teaching you. Clear? Okay. Now let me rub this and let me point out the ninth point. The ninth point is about the spacing between the bars. That is the ninth point. So maximum spacing between bars. So the IS code, it says that the main reinforcement, the maximum spacing is 3D or 300 mm, whichever is minimum. And for the distribution reinforcement, it is 5D or 450 mm, whichever is minimum. So this is for the main reinforcement and this is for the distribution reinforcement. The question is, should I learn this? Yeah, this is important. Should learn this, right? What I am teaching you, if you are remembering whatever I am teaching you, that is more than enough. You don't have to look at the codes and again remember other things, right? Whatever I am teaching you, that is more than enough. Okay? So I hope students, now you have understood that the one-way slab concept with IS 456 provisions and how slabs are designed. I am not going in detail, but for example, if you are designing a slab, then what we do is that one-way slab, we take a strip of 1 meter width, right? We take a strip of 1 meter width. We assume D, right? From the deflection control parameters, L effective upon D, we get the value of L effective. Clear? Then what we do is that we get the maximum moment, and from the maximum moment again we get the value of d. By comparing the maximum moment, you know that if it is an under reinforced section, 0.87 fy ast into d minus 0.42 into xu is equals to 0.87 fy divided by sigma 0.33 sigma ck, right? From there you have the value of d, right? Again we will get the value of d and we will check whether the value of d, whatever we had assumed, it satisfies the deflection control parameter or not. So I'm not going in detail of that because designing is not in our syllabus, but what are the provisions of designing, what we see in designing, that is in the syllabus of GATE examinations. Clear? So I hope, students, that you have understood the one-way slab concept. Now let us solve a few numericals of one-way slab and further see if we have understood everything or not. So now let us move to the next video, next lecture, and understand a few numericals based on the one-way slab. Thank you.